1,400 years ago, in the middle of the desert, at a time when scientific instruments did not exist, the Quran made a surprising description of how the universe would end. Today, modern astrophysics explains the possible end of the universe with a theory called the Big Crunch. So how does this end described in the Quran 14 centuries ago align with the scenario science discusses today? Let's explore this extraordinary parallel together. The Quran's description. The Holy Quran states in Surah Enbiya, verse 104, "On that day we shall roll up the heavens like scrolls rolled up. We shall bring it back as we began the first creation. This is a promise binding upon us. We will surely do this." Enbiya 21, 104. The word roll up in this verse is expressed as tayuz sisil in Arabic. Sisil refers to rolls of paper on which writing is done, just as a roll of paper is rolled up, folded inward. Allah the Almighty informs us that the sky will be rolled up in the same way, folded inward. In another verse, in Surah Takwir, it is stated, "When the sky is split asunder," at Takwir 81:11, and in Surah Zumar, verse 67. On the day of resurrection, the whole earth will be in his grasp, and the heavens will be rolled up in his right hand. Zumar 67, 39:67. There is a common theme in these verses. The expansion of the universe stops, then it collapses inward, shrinks, rolls up. The scientific perspective. Big Crunch. Now let's see what science has to say about this. In 1929, Edwin Hubble made a revolutionary discovery. The universe is expanding. Galaxies are moving away from each other. This discovery confirmed the Big Bang theory. But scientists wondered, will this expansion continue forever? The Big Crunch theory states, if there is enough matter and energy in the universe, gravitational force will one day stop this expansion. Just like a ball thrown into the air is pulled back by gravity. At some point, the universe will stop expanding and begin to collapse inward. In this scenario, billions of years later, galaxies will start to approach each other. Space will fold. Everything will collapse toward that infinitely small point at the beginning, the singularity. The universe will roll up into itself, just like rolling up a stack of paper. Famous physicists like Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose examined the mathematical possibility of this scenario in their work. Hawking mentions this possibility in his book, A Brief History of Time. Parallels and deep meaning. Now consider. In the 7th century, in an era without telescopes, mathematical equations, or space technology, the Quran says that the sky will be rolled up. It will be rolled up like scrolls, folded. Is this expression merely poetic imagery, or is it a scientific sign of the true end of the universe? Islamic scholars, in interpreting these verses, have reached the following conclusion. Just as creation began at a certain point, the end will also be a return to that point. Ibn Kathir, in his interpretation of verse 104 of Surah Enbiya, states, this verse indicates that on the day of judgment, the heavens will change and transform into a state different from their current state. Fahreddin er-Razi offers the following interpretation. The rolling up of the sky is its return to its original state, for everything returns to where it began. Isn't this exactly what the Big Crunch theory describes? The return of the universe to its starting point. Other signs. There are other verses in the Quran about the end of the universe. The stars will fade, the sky will split, the mountains will be scattered. Mursalat 77, 8-10. In modern astrophysics, the Big Crunch is expected to involve the extinction of stars and the fragmentation of the fabric of space-time. The Quran's descriptions show a striking alignment with scientific scenarios. Even more interesting is that the Quran presents this end as a new beginning. The statement in Enbiya 104, "We will bring it back as we first created it," parallels the cyclic universe theory discussed by some physicists. A book revealed 1,400 years ago describes a reality that modern science only began to discuss in the 20th century: the end of the universe, a rolling up, a folding, a return to the beginning. Is this a coincidence? Or is it one of the proofs that the Quran is the word of the Creator? It is up to us to think and investigate.